Hello friends and welcome back to my studio. My name's Rebekah Victoria and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Today I'm just whipping out some of my oil pastels and I'm going to do a little bit of work on maybe this one in here and then a bit of work on this one. This little artwork here is very reminiscent of the farm at my grandparents' place, my Nana and Papa's, and we used to go there all the time when we were kids. We used to stay out there and it reminded me so much of the kind of sweeping hills. And my Nana used to have this rise that was not far from the house that she covered in flowers and plants. It wasn't always that way, but she kind of worked on it year after year, and eventually it just got to this beautiful state, and it was one of my favorite things too. We would go and play in there. There was this cool little gate that was kind of rickety and old, so we would open the gate, and then there weren't any stepping stones or anything like that. There was just rocks, and you just knew instinctively which rocks and which part to go on. It was like this little almost obstacle course, and it was just the coolest little magical garden. It was just such a cool place, and it seemed so otherworldly compared to my life that I had when we were back in our house in suburbia that was very traditional and typical and your average Australian house that you grew up in. Going out to the farm was super special, and it was a really great way that we were surrounded by nature as far as the eye could see, and it was so meaningful for us to just have that really big land to learn how to have space. And then when I was older, I used to go out there and I used to go for these long walks just by myself and just be. It was always just a place of deep personal presence and being just yourself and just enjoying the present moment and living in the present moment. And yeah, it was just a beautiful place for that. Anyway, today I am using these oil pastels. I have a couple colors that I'm picked out. I'm working on this pink pig face area. The pig face flowers were these pink flowers that were on the rise, and I loved them so much, so I'll be working on that area. The colors that I have out are magenta, which is the same color that I used in the oils underneath, and then I have crimson, and I'm just picking up this light one called salmon pink that I think might work in there. We'll see. I actually am going to try something a little different today. I'm going to do something where I have a pastel in each hand and I just work two different colors at once and slowly build it up. I have never worked in this way before, and I'm super excited to see what's going to happen. It's something that's just kind of coming out of me right now, and I don't know how it's going to look, but as it's building up, I'm really happy with how it's kind of sitting on the canvas. I thought that I was going to do more oil paint, but I've decided that I don't think it needs it. And then when I was sitting here, I saw that there was some potential for some oil pastel in here that might help break up the space a little more and add a little bit more depth to the pig face flowers without putting oil paint on. I don't know why, I just feel like it doesn't need oil paint. I don't think it's going to look the way I want it to look, because I think because the brush strokes will be different than how I want them to be. So I'm actually really happy with how the oil pastel is going on. It's leaving this kind of scumbly see-through effect on some, and then I'm able to put it on a bit thicker in some areas so that it's quite opaque and you can't see the color through it. And then it is quite a nice contrast to the yellow areas that I painted yesterday, because it doesn't look too perfectly aligned with the same brushstroke shapes. That's what I was really worried about. I was worried about it all looking like the same brushstrokes, and I didn't want that because I thought it wouldn't sit properly. I thought that it would look too perfect and too all the same. So I really am intentionally trying to create different shapes and different areas so that it is going to work better. And I'm just adding things in here and there where I feel instinctively like it could use it, and then taking a bit of space and sitting back and reflecting on what is on there. Now that I'm talking and doing the second video, I'm seeing a lot of places where I would like to add it in just a touch here and there, just where I think it might help and look a bit better, and it's really coming to life in such beautiful shape. That is one of the things that I feel like really helps my artwork, is just giving it space to breathe, giving it space to percolate and generate what it needs to be, and not forcing how it looks. That I really find that beneficial, and I can't stress enough how useful that is. I know I've spoken about that other times, but it really, really is beneficial to my art practice anyway. So I feel like you should definitely give it a go in your art practice, just putting the paintings on the wall and or the artwork or whatever you're working on, and just giving it a bit of space and letting the creativity kind of bloom on its own. Yeah, could be beneficial for yours anyway. So yeah, this one's been in the process for a little while because I've been doing that. I did the background first, and then I let it sit for a while, and then I did the green section, and I added some of the yellow and the pink in when I did that in that session. And then I let it sit for a couple months. Honestly, it was quite a while. And then just yesterday, I added in some of the yellows, in the yellow ochre and the lemon yellow. And then just today, I'm doing the oil pastels. And I think that it's done now. So I think that we're all fully finished. I absolutely love how it looks. I'm curious to see how they look on their own, as to if I like them as much or if they are definitely a work together. But I feel like they could either be sold separate or together. I think it works either way. But it's just cool how they're different shaped canvases. I think that's a really interesting part of this work. And what it makes me want to work on is a series of like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 landscape paintings that all connect together, that could either be sold separately or together, and together they would make this sweeping landscape on separate canvases. I think that would be phenomenal. So that is something that I'm going to work towards. I've been doing one with 2 portrait canvases together, and then now these 2 landscape ones in different sizes. So I'm really mixing up the shapes and really working on trying to generate different ideas and think outside of the box and really creatively of how to make these paintings truly sing, but not forcing how they're going to be. And it's really beautiful to see what's coming out. I'm really thoroughly enjoying seeing them take shape and seeing them be what they're meant to be. So we will see how they go in the future and see what comes of this. Okay, so I have this painting over here. I am just doing a little bit of work on this other one, and I'm wondering if I should add some oil paints into this middle section here, and I'm wondering if that shape might break it up a bit more. So I'm just going to give it a go and see what I think. I am getting all these colors. This is the palette that I'm grabbing. What color do I think would look best here? This is yellow ochre, so that kind of makes sense because that's exactly what I've used in the background. So I'm just really trying to create some different shapes. That's really my goal here, just to break up the same brushwork a little bit and just give it a little bit more life in that sense. I'm going to grab another color. Not sure what yet. Color. Maybe a brown even. Just a burnt sienna, exactly as I used. What's this one here? Raw sienna. Raw sienna or burnt sienna? Start with burnt sienna. I'm putting it on quite thick, and I'm trialing this method of using 2 hands at once again. It feels a bit foreign and different, but kind of like the lack of control that I get from it. Just breaking these shapes up is really all I need to do and make them less uniform. I'm going to throw a bit of this raw sienna in. I think that this color is quite beautiful too. There's some of these peachy tones in here, so I might be able to find a bit more peachy tones in there with these. I want this color. A bit more yellow ochre over here. I just think that this can add a bit more to it, give it a bit more depth. And it's cool that these are oil pastels, so I can add them in. Oils on oils is great, no problems here with that. Color have we got? Flesh. Just put a little bit of flesh in here. Some glitter coming off. I probably should have worn gloves for this, but that's okay. I didn't do that. I don't mind that some of this glitter is coming off. I kind of am happy about that because I put a bit much on and it's a little too crafty for me. So it's okay with me if a little bit of that comes off. What do we got here? We've got umber, raw umber. Some of you over here. Oh, I didn't necessarily want that peachy color down there. In my brain I was using yellow ochre. Got to tell my body to pick it up. Just gonna try and throw a little bit in here. There's a little bit of yellow ochre here with the brush, so I'm just gonna add a bit in. I'm gonna put a bit up here and try to get rid of some of this glitter again. And then some of these some of these perfect edges I need to work into a bit, I think. Yeah. I don't really have the right yellow in this. It needs to be like a really light yellow, so I'm just going to add a bit of this in here. This one is lemon yellow. So what I've got here is lemon yellow, but with the white added. So it's going to be a bit brighter, obviously. Now, let's see, stand back, have a look. This is all like way more intense than I wanted it to be, but I can't get back from that. I put too much in for what I wanted, so that's unfortunate, but it is what it is, and I'm nervous of this getting to that phase too, so I'm hesitant to do too much more. But it does look better with these shapes broken up, for sure. Definitely helping quite a lot. A couple here that look a bit too intense, I guess. I really like using these oil pastels. I haven't been a big oil pastel user in the past, but I definitely want to continue using them going forwards. I think that they're quite beautiful the way they work, so I like the combination of the oils and the oil pastel together. So yeah, it's helping, for sure, helping my process, and yeah, I will leave it there, and I think that painting's proper done now, but who knows, I might change my mind. Yeah, so this is my session for today. I'm so glad that you were here with me. I'm sending you so much love, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope there's some time in your day to go and create something that is beautiful and that was not in the world this morning. Okay, bye.